Kenya's decentralization is among the most rapid and ambitious devolution processes going on in the world. With the new governance challenges and opportunities as the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 marked a momentous point in Kenya's history, the Constitution provided for, among other things, enhanced checks and balances within the government, an enhanced role of parliament and citizen, an independent judiciary, and a most progressive Bill of Rights. Notably, the Constitution provided for a major devolution, not only for resources and functions, but also creating a whole new layer of county government. The sweeping changes in Kenya's policy and institutional framework have brought about a new regime of governance. Multiple new laws have been put in place, including new legislation on county government, urban areas, public financial management, and the transition to devolved government, as well as multiple national bodies and commissions with responsibility for devolution. We want to know what is happening in your area, right? And this is a question we're asking you this morning in light of that. Do you think, or do you hail devolution as a success in your county? Do you hail devolution as a success in your county? Hit us on Twitter. AM Live and TV is a Twitter handle. AM Live and TV is a profile name on Facebook, and 20505 is our SMS portal. And I'm holding court this morning with His Excellency Governor Paul Chepkwony, who is the governor from Kericho. Also, we have with us Angeline Hongo. She is the Director of Devolution and Planning. And still, looking at our time, it is 7:20, and Governor Lusaka is running late. We're still hoping that he will come. We continue with this discussion. I will walk over to where they are so that we can continue with this discussion. Remember, you can hit us on Twitter. I'll be reading out some of your tweets and also some of the comments on Facebook as well as I join my panelists this morning. All right, we continue with the discussion, and as I mentioned, you can call in, ask questions, or share your contribution as well. Right, before we took a short break, also, we have just done a story on what is happening with the governor's siege. If we may just run that story so that it can act also as a segue for our discussion this morning. Just to get in light of what is happening, you can look at the Daily Nation, and you say also you are ready to face the rigors of the audit if you're called upon to do the auditing or to go through the auditing of the governor's lifestyle. All right, if we may just run the story, and we can also contribute on that with our panelist.
Godana Doyo is one of the 12 governors put on the spot for allegedly undertaking irregular appointments and promotions of individuals in the county, among other accusations. This afternoon, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission detectives raided his home in search of evidence that links him to a 271 million shilling road project which was never constructed. The raid sparked mass protests by hundreds of his supporters who thronged the streets of Isiolo town in solidarity with their governor, and some even hurled stones at the detectives. But he's not the only one.
If your officers are unable to explain this adequately.
Several governors, including Migori's Okoth Obado, has been accused of impropriety. Obado describes it as witch hunt and malicious. He wants the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission detectives to focus their energy somewhere else.
How do they now bring the governor into this? And the rules are very clear. The job of the governor is specified. There are certain things that the governor is not supposed to do. For example, the governor is not even a member of a procurement committee. He doesn't sit there. That is an independent committee. The governor is not expected to physically go and verify that this thing has been done like this. So we should, I think as Kenyans, we should really be fair to the governors and stop this wholesome condemnation.
Obado is being investigated for irregularities in the procurement process and misuse of public funds. Obado is not the only one facing accusations from the 2013-2014 Auditor General's report. His Homa Bay counterpart is accused of irregularities involving 200 million shillings on the proposed Agro-City project, without a feasibility study being conducted. EACC detectives have already raided the home of the county principal finance officer Maurice Amek over allegations of embezzlement of county funds. The others are Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto, who has allegedly accumulated immense wealth in the last 4 years. Governor Alfred Mutua is accused of purchasing 14 vehicles of 4 county executive members through single sourcing. The cars are also said to have been overpriced. Governor Joseph Nanok of Turkana is accused of irregular payment of 14 million shillings to a contractor for the construction of a bridge where no work was done. Today in Nairobi, Governor Evans Kidero appeared before the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, where he said to have answered to questions touching on impropriety. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission plans to bar the governors who have impropriety cases against them from running for office. Legal experts, however, say it will be impossible to bar anyone from running for office on account of an ongoing investigation.
Of late, there has been a rush by senators to blackmail the governors. And this is impacting very negatively on various county governments, to the extent that even the donor community, the non-governmental organizations are getting scared of engaging with counties.
The report recommends that 8 out of 10 governors on the list to be investigated further by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Others have been recommended for prosecution. Ken Mijungu, NTV.
Right, we continue with the discussion. You can call in, ask your questions or share your contribution. Right, let's begin also with you, Mrs. Hongo. First of all, this will be a very different devolution conference because you're inviting over the senators as well. I think you extended your hand for the invitation last year, but they declined to come. Do you think they're going to come this time forth?
Thank you very much. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the 4th annual devolution conference, and it will be the last of the current governance structure that we have. And we have made invitations to everybody, and we want to treat this conference as an opportunity for all stakeholders, including the senators, who are part of the management and of ensuring that devolution works in this country, to share with us their experiences and expand on solutions, to give us solutions to address any common challenges that they may, as an oversight organ to county governments. We expect them to tell us the challenges that they have experienced or they've seen as they oversight the county governments. So together as stakeholders, we should be able to find a way forward on how to handle these challenges, even as we move into the next round of governors coming in, new senators coming in, and so on and so forth.
All right. We just heard from that particular clip that, the governors also and senators, your working relationship has been very frosty. If you're called actually to appear in the committees, the senators committee, you never appear in the first place, right? Because you say it is not enshrined, you're not obliged to appear. Why has there been a frosty relationship between you and the senators?
Let me make it very clear that yes, at the onset and initially, there's been a tug of war between governors and senators as far as appearing before Senate is concerned.
Yes.
However, as you may be aware, governors have been appearing to respond to questions that have been raised by Auditor General. I have personally appeared, so many other governors have appeared, and every time I went, the discussion between us and senators was very cordial. I was able to present the answers to the queries, and it has gone well most of the time. The point of contention has been, if a governor is not a accounting officer, why should he be summoned to appear when the accounting officers can be called in, and the governor can only be called if the accounting officers are put in a position where they are not able to offer satisfactory answers. This has been the contention. But by and large, there should be no reason why senators and governors should not work together. In any case, the new constitution provides for the existence of Senate, which oversights county governments, and especially in terms of what goes to counties. Governors are also the political principals as well as the CEOs of respective counties. So going forward, I think it's very important to draw a line between what a governor is required to respond to.
All right.
Because basically, a governor at times is asked to respond to things that have been executed by junior officers.
So you actually shuffling the blame to the accounting officers, right? That they are the ones who are supposed to be, not really a blame, but the responsibility that goes to the accounting officers. You are the CEO. You are the person that the final passing of the buck should actually rest with you in the first place. So if you say that we should go for the accounting officers in the first place, does it mean then you have no sorting idea what goes on with in your county as far as planning is concerned, as far as budgets is concerned? You have no responsibility in procurement at all?
Debarl,
so you don't append any signature anywhere?
Debarl, the governor, and I've said, is chief executive officer of the county, is the CEO, is the overall, but as well is the political principal. What I've said is when certain things are executed, for example, if a road is to be done, there are processes that are followed which ultimately will be approved by chief officers. And what the argument of governors has been is that can these people be questioned in terms of what they did not do right and what they did right before ultimately the governor is called. Because basically the beginning point is a process was not followed correctly. It may not even be money lost, but just a procedure, and the governor is called. So we have been calling for streamlining of summons. What is the threshold? You see, those are some of the little issues that have been in contention as far as the relationship between governors and senators is concerned.
You know, the senators also, they are seeking a new assumption of Office of a Governor's Bill, which is actually in the second reading right now. What is your response to this particular bill where, yes, we know, first of all, some few days towards the general election, you're prohibited to actually make any spendings, and also your assumption of office, there shall be a ceremony 7 days after elections?
Well, every bill should be subjected to public participation. And the question that I'll be asking is what happens to development agenda which is pending between the time between the time of the election and the time a new governor is to be sworn in. Because basically government programs should run with or without specific individuals. This is not about individuals, it's about government. So I think it's just very important to put in place very stringent budgetary controls without necessarily stalling development. I'm very sure Wananchi will be up in arms if certain programs don't run just because of the fear that the governor may steal money within the remaining period.
Yes. Do you think that will not really happen? Steal money to go and do or go about gallivanting about the country to seek out for votes on your stump speeches as well?
The thing is, Debarl, if a governor hasn't stolen for 4 years, why would he steal in 2 months, really? It doesn't make sense. In any case, if you look at... So
you think there is no stealing that has been happening?
Well, let me just give you...
No one has stolen any money anywhere?
I don't know.
We've seen bloated accounts of wheelbarrows going for 109 million shillings, yes, because they're carcinogenic.
Well, Debarl, isolated cases where they are would not necessarily apply to all the counties. There are majority of counties that don't have issues at all, and therefore we cannot have one example being applied to the rest of the counties.
All right, let's drop in, and I know you want to be very apolitical on this, but you see what is headlining the front pages, the front page of a Daily Nation today. Why is the EACC taking special umbrage with the governors that they should be passed through the rigors of auditing lifestyle audits?
Thank you. Maybe at this time, the EACC is focusing on the governors. But like His Excellency, the governor also said that this is something that should go across board to all, both from national government.
Let's now focus on
Yes.
on the governors. All across board, I think it's a non-issue for now. We are talking about governors.
I think for that to happen and for them to focus on the governors, we expect that thorough investigations will be done to come out with the issues that they think that would warrant governors to face a lifestyle audit, even as we go to the polls. And if any evidence is found, then the law should take its place. We have organs in the government that are put in place to ensure that if any crime or any corruption activities are established on any officer, public officer, be it a governor or even myself, then the correct law should take its place.
What is the role of the ministry, the devolution and planning, in terms of overseeing the counties? Who does the governor really answer to or respond to or answer to? We have His Excellency here. Does the buck really stop with him because he's the president of the county? So to whom is he answering to?
To the people. To the people who elected him.
The people who elected you, but who is overseeing you?
The MCAs. That's why the oversight at the county level is the county assembly. And by the way, Debarl.
But the MCAs are way below you, isn't it? Yeah. We want to know whom do you answer to? Maybe that should be the question, that we don't have it enshrined in the Constitution. Who should actually be raising accusatory fingers and saying, you are not doing this, you're not doing this, you're not following this Constitution?
Debarl, if a governor is culpable, the assembly will kick in motion, which can lead to impeachment of the governor. That is a very, very strong safety check for governors. In fact, it is more rigorous than any other processes that are available, because it takes a political turn as well.
Yes.
So therefore, if a governor is involved in corruption, the citizens who elected him can raise a red flag, and an MCA can pick up from there. And you've seen those proceedings going all the way to Senate as impeachments.
All right. Let's look at the issues that have been raised. We shall look the good, the bad, and the ugly. Of course, we can't just train our focus and say, you've done beautiful things within the counties in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of health sector being reinvigorated. We'll look at that. But let's start with the ugly first. There is a statutory requirement for a minimum 30% employment for non-dominant groups, which is regularly floated, right? The governors are not employing as per this particular statutory requirement. So who is responsible in making sure that this particular requirement is observed from the ministry's standing point?
As the Ministry of Devolution and Planning, and in particular the State Department of Devolution, we are entrusted by both the Constitution and the County Government Act to ensure that there is adequate capacity at the counties to deliver the services that they are expected to deliver. And for this to be done, the required resources include the human resource.
Yes.
And of course, the Constitution and both the Act was very clear, so that there is equity and that national cohesion, as much as we have the 47 counties.
Yes.
And that's why that law was put in place, that 30%. And we do have evidence in some counties that has been done. Kiambu is one good county that you would be able to pick people from other ethnic backgrounds in that county government, and others across the board. And you may have also noticed some time back, the National Cohesion Commission went round to carry out an audit to establish if county governments are adhering to this 30%. And this is something that, as a ministry, we will ensure that it is done. It's not being done across the board, but it is something that it's in our docket to ensure that it is done, and we'll work together with the counties, because they are the ones who are supposed to implement it.
Right. Mheshimiwa, Your Excellency, how is it faring on with this particular statutory requirement in your county?
We are compliant. In fact, the beginning point, and I would like to focus this discussion in terms of employment, and this is very important Kenyans understand. There is a county public service board which is actually given the responsibility of advertising for all positions. And the audit should begin with when you advertise as Kericho, for example, the position of, say, chief officers, who applied. If the law has not been complied with, who is it that you discriminated against? If somebody applied and you did not take him, that is clear discrimination. If you look at the various Devolve functions in Kericho, for example, we have communities of Kenya from all over the country being part of the economic development of Kericho. So we comply with the 30% requirement that the minorities who do not reside in that county are given a chance to work for the county.
Right. Okay, maybe we should also drill deeper and try and see what happened in Trans Nzoia, right? Was it in Eldoret with the Moi University and the installing of the acting vice chancellor? As that can really epitomize what is really happening within the counties, because yes, we had a person who was not coming from that particular community to act as a vice chancellor, and this also ruffled the feathers of the community within that particular county led by Governor Mandago. So the question is, if the governor himself cannot make sure, could we say that the 30% we're talking about could have been inclusive of the acting vice chancellor, Laba Nairo, currently presiding over as the vice chancellor of Moi University? And what gesture are you showing, you as a governor, to your community that you cannot really look at this particular requirement and act on it? Because we take it to be, yes, Laba Nairo is part of 30% as enshrined in this particular statutory requirement.
Debarl, I happen to be a former professor of Moi University. And that is a very appropriate question for me as a professor.
Yes.
A vice chancellor must be an academic and a researcher of international stature. These are individuals who may not necessarily be found within villages, and that is why this individual can be sourced from anywhere in the world. The requirement of a vice chancellor is that he must have supervised PhDs and executed research and published in referred journals. But more important, he should have the managerial skills, and it should be evidenced by the fact that he has attracted funding to the university. As far as the Moi University case is concerned, and it's very unfortunate, but apparently what came out was not really the professor who was given the ability, the opportunity to act, but the criteria used to pick him. Amongst so many, because apparently interviews were held and results were being waited for, but in between somebody was made to act, and I think that was a point of contention. If you look at the history of Moi University, most of the vice chancellors have not even been from the local Kalenjin community, other than Professor Mibay, since 1984. So it tells you that this has not been an issue, really, other than this one issue of, yes, this Professor Airo, among so many professors of Moi University, how did the CS end up saying it's him and not anybody else to act pending release of interview results?
All right, thank you. We have callers hanging on the line. Let's just take them, and of course also we shall continue with the discussion. We have Madenge calling from Mombasa. Good morning, Madenge.
Good morning, Habari.
Hello, good morning, Madenge.
Good morning, Habari. Asubuhi.
Yes. All right, we can hear you, Madenge. Go on.
Kulikuwa nasema
Yes.
kulikuwa nasema tuangalie kwa upande wa hizi county government. Inaona kwa upande wangu zimefanya kazi na zimeshinda kazi kubwa vile, ingine inaendeleza mambo yake.
Yes.
Kwa sababu ukija kuangalia hata wewe mwenyewe ukija kuangalia kwa account yako kuna mambo mengine ambayo ulikuwa hujaona tangu umezaliwa, lakini umeyaona sasa hivi ambayo unaridhika. Kama hii mambo yangekuwa hapo tangu tupate uhuru tungekuwa tuko mbali sana. Alafu kitu la pili nilikuwa nasema hii mambo ya kuzungumza mambo ya kusema ati unakimbia kuaudit magavana kuangalia ndio kuna ufisadi nini. Kwanza tuliangalia sasa tunaenda kwa election, kuna watu ambao wako na maskandali makubwa ya NYS na wote wanataka kuja kuwa magavana. Na ripoti zao hazijatoka. Kwa nini tunakimbilia hii kwanza? Tuanze kukimbilia hizo kwanza zitoke ripoti tuangalie ni nani tujue nani ambao wakushika. Asante.
All right. Asante sana Madhengi. We have also Jared. Good morning, Jared. Good morning, Jared. Hello, Jared calling from Kisii. Good morning. All right, we seem to be having an issue with that. But also we have your tweets as well, your rush of tweets are here. We have Kirui Kipto. He's saying that devolution, let me try and make it full so that you can see it clearly there. He's saying devolution working in Kericho County in a scale of 1 to 10, I will rate the governor at 6. And also, are you happy with that rating?
Well,
from Kipruto?
That is his mark, and he's my boss. The voter is my boss. I'm fully contented.
Okay.
But possibly I could be higher.
It could be higher than that.
Possibly 80.
Possibly.
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 But 60 is good.
If you rate yourself?
I've passed.
Well, if passed. But if you rate yourself?
About 80%.
8 in a scale of 1 to 10?
Yes, 8, yes.
8. All right, fine, thank you. We have also Nicholas. Nicholas is saying, with only about 15 of budget allocation, and despite graft, counties have more to show in development than national government. Also, we have Julie D. It says it melted like yesterday. Unemployment at its peak. Small and medium companies are downsizing or shutting down. We have also Katana saying Kilifi County has failed in improving the standards of living of its citizenry, especially the Jilore ward. Also, Silas is saying devolution not working in Kisii County, only devolve corruption. John Gidange is saying Nakuru residents expected to have utopian life. The governor and his allies are the major beneficiaries. We have also Jim Kich Langat saying in Bomet County devolution is in sickbed and is investing our funds in machine. Okay, I just leave it at that. I cannot see it clearly from there. And we have Maxwell as well, saying in some cases it's a success, but on side of funds, there's a lot of fund mismanagement. A lot of them, I cannot read all of them because of interest of time as well. But let's come to you first of all, Angela.
Yes.
There's an issue of the issue of counties. I don't know if you're the right person to really actually answer this. Maybe I can say the third failure that has been, paying cash in interest. Some of the governors have been paying cash in interest for very heavy contractual services, right? And isn't this the surest way? Like you have contractual services to build road. Why would you pay engineers or a contractual firm via interest if you're not looking actually to loot and not using IFMIS?
Well, that's
new to you?
That's new to me because IFMIS, and I can tell you, to steal in counties using IFMIS is very difficult because the number of people involved before ultimately a payment is made are many.
But you've been saying IFMIS is not really working for you because the dead hand of
bureaucracy?
Well,
there are challenges with IFMIS, but what I'm saying is generally, for example, in Kericho we do not even have any checks. So no one is given a check, no one is given impress and cash from the drawers. It's through the system. And if you really want to audit Kericho, right now, we'll just give you 1 minute and you have an audit report of everything that has ever happened. So I think some of the issues that are raised to me do not even sound as if they are real.
All right, let's train our focus a bit away from the politics of the counties. We look at the devolution conference because, of course, when you come to this particular conference, what do you discuss really other than what is happening, especially within the counties, the corruption, the headlining? Because I know this will be part of it. If you look at the front page of the Daily Nation with the EACC requesting or requiring the governors to go through lifestyle audit, right? Tell us, you're talking of a theme, that is running under? You gave us that particular theme. Of
Yes.
course, we had a prelude of children also.
Yes.
You want to inculcate that to children, that the devolution is really happening within counties. Briefly.
I think for a system to work in a country and for us to inculcate it, we need to build it right from our youngsters. And because a number of us who are the pioneers of this devolved system of governance, in another 10 or 20 years' time, will have exited either from the service or from the mainstream management
Yes.
of devolution. So we expect our youngsters, the young people, to take over, and this is something that they must start to learn right from the beginning, to learn the principles of devolution, to learn the successes that devolution can give to them, how they are supposed to participate as citizens, as upcoming citizens, to ensure that this process works, how to hold our leaders accountable, like what His Excellency was saying, that the governance structure is answerable to the wananchi. And our youngsters, students who are still in school, are part of this. And maybe as we move on with devolution, because from learning from other countries that have done devolution, it is something, it's not an off, it's not a one-off. It takes a long time. Some countries have even taken over 100 years to be where they are in terms of implementing devolution. And for that to be realized even 100 years down the lane in Kenya, we must start with our young people.
All right, so also we have the Devolution Warrior Award. This is the first
Yes,
in this particular conference?
Yes, the Devolution Warrior Award is the first time we are undertaking it, and criteria and selections have been put in place on how that will be established. Who are the best and in what areas, so that they can be awarded.
What is the criteria?
And this would also be another way of encouraging participation in the devolution.
Yeah, would you mind telling us how the criteria is so that if Mheshimiwa perhaps we run through the rigors of that particular criteria, we'll see if you've been unfair, if he doesn't really get an award this time forth.
Thank you, thank you. I think for that question I may not be able to respond adequately, but if we had somebody from the Council of Governors who are really in touch with this area in terms of managing the devolution, they would have been able to respond in the positive way. But what I would consider would be one of the criteria is how you have contributed to ensuring that devolution works in your area, either in the ministry or in a county government or in a ward. What have you done to ensure that devolution works? And what else have you done to ensure that if there are any challenges, you've been able to address them adequately, so that we move on and ensure that devolution works in the country?
Last year we had senators boycotting this particular conference in Meru.
Yes.
And of course they're saying they were not really involved in the planning of the conference itself. Have you worked with the senators this time forth, or you just sent an invite and maybe you might experience another boycott?
No, in terms of organizing a devolution conference, we do involve all stakeholders, and in terms of the structure, we do have a steering committee at which, like for example, from the State Department of Devolution, our Honorable Cabinet Secretary is a member. And at that level, all stakeholders are expected to participate, including the senators.
Have you involved them in that particular planning?
Yes, they have been involved,
so
both at the steering level and at the technical level.
All right, as we're closing also, Mheshimiwa, looking at the 5 years that you've had also being in office, right, what will be the overarching, shining factor that we can actually pick from your county and say, truly, we can label this as Governor Paul Chepkwony's achievement during the 5 years as the people of Kericho?
Debarl, thank you very much. I will quickly respond by using the functions in which there's been clear rankings nationally. We have been ranked as the best in ICT in the whole country. We have constructed ICT centers where Wi-Fi is free for the youth of Kericho across the 6 sub-counties. And that aside, we are connecting our youths to jobs in the cyberspace through an arrangement called business process outsourcing. This is a milestone. 2, we have constructed brand new feeder roads, 2,400 kilometers, roads that never existed, right from scratch, where there was a bush, where there was where there were rocks. You can imagine that length of roads. We have constructed 760 ECD classrooms within 4 years. More or less for every public school now, the county would have done an ECD center.
Right.
We have...
Thank you. I think those are enough. I just wanted maybe one overarching. You say ICT is, but the issue of supply.
But we are very good in roads.
As we're winding up, the issue of suppliers, we cannot really. I'll be remiss if we don't ask you this particular question, and why suppliers are not being paid, because so many of them, maybe not from your county, but other counties are not really paying their suppliers. The government is not really paying back suppliers. They're frustrated because, yes, they've given out goods to you people, but you don't honor your contractual agreement.
I wouldn't say that suppliers are not being paid. The good thing with doing business with government is that you never lose the money. The only unfortunate thing is that the remission of money, the equitable share to counties, usually at times may delay. For example, it may come 3 months after a service has been delivered, and it is an allocation for 1 month. So usually a service has been delivered, the money that came is for 3 months, and this is the delay. But usually at the end of the financial year, all the pending bills are sorted out. In fact, like Kericho County, we've sorted out in the budget, the supplementary budget, which is the final budget, all the pending bills. And at the close of the financial year, everybody would have been paid.
Thank you. All right, Mrs. Hongo, briefly, we have 5 seconds to wind up. Where will the conference be at? Who is invited to the conference? How long is the conference running? And what theme is it running under? Very, very tersely. You don't need to elaborate.
Thank you very much. Like I mentioned earlier, the theme of the 4th Annual Devolution Conference is Devolution, Transforming Lives, Tell Your Story. And for this to happen, we have invited all Kenyans, all stakeholders to come and participate. It's starting tomorrow. It's starting on the 6th of March. The official opening will take place on the 7th, where we expect His Excellency, the President, to do the official opening, after which we will delve into different issues to address our challenges, to address our successes, and to address our way forward by bringing in different speakers and different panelists to participate. And the conference, like I had mentioned earlier, will be held in an institution called Kenya Wildlife Training Institute in Naivasha, Nakuru County. And we do welcome all of you to come and share with us the successes, your experiences, so that you help us even to forge ahead as we bring in the new crop of governance in August this year. Thank you.